Simon from simonwoods.com here. One day, 5 beefy red wines. Well, they might be beefy, that's what I'm expecting. They're all south of France-ish. First one, Vin de Pays de la Principauté d'Orange. It's called Must. It's from a guy called Julien Must, Domaine de la Gréverette. And where is our La Principauté de l'Orange? Basically, it's just over the border from Domaine de Vieux Telegraph in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. But it's not labelled as a Côte de Rhône because it's got some weird grape varieties in it. No, it hasn't got weird grape varieties. It's got weird grape variety. Marcelin. If you've not come across Marcelin, it's a grape that was developed, not sure when, but I think it became an authorised French one about 20 years ago. Really only started seeing it on labels probably in about the last 10 years. And it's a cross between Cabernet Sauvignon and Grenache, I think. When I've had Marcelin in the past, I found it almost a bit too much of a good thing. It's got quite a lot of flavour, but it's got what I call blue flavours, slightly fizzy blue flavours. I know what I mean. Is this one of those wines? It smells quite developed, almost like a port, like Kirsch edge. I don't know whether it's just a touch too oxidised, whether that's the bottle or the wine itself. For me, it's a bit on that rustic. Yeah, that's the sort of wine where if I were with a producer, I'd say, is this bottle showing as well as you'd want it to do? Because I find quite a bit of concentration and this quite nice tar, plummy edge, but the fruit doesn't feel quite as fresh as I think it should be. And 07 was a terrific vintage in the Rhône. Just feels like it's lost a bit of freshness. Next four. I don't know if you remember an advert in which Nick Kenyon got his kit off in a laundrette and do to the tune of Heard It Through the Grapevine. If you don't remember that, then you'll remember Vorsprung durch Technik. The guy who came up with those was called John Hegarty, and he's still involved in the advertising business. He's now Sir John Hegarty, but since 2002 he's been making wine in southern France. He bought this domain called Domaine Chamon, and in Minevois, and now he's renamed it Hegarty Chamon. So I've got 4 wines from him. Actually, I've got 5, but there's a white which I'll shove in another video. This is his entry-level thing. Les Chamons, Kenyon, Syrah, Grenache, Mourvèdre, non-filtré. It does a bit of biodynamic farming. Some things are done according to phases of the moon. Well, there's that wild herbiness there. There is, yeah, this slightly crunchy, you can feel that edge of Carignan. There's that peppery violet edge. It smells like it's going to be concentrated but perfumed. I get this nice perfumed edge coming through. Yeah, there's black currants, blackberries, but there's this juicy freshness coming through. Syrah and the Carignan in particular will give it this backbone of freshness, whereas the other ones will maybe bulk out the wine. But yeah, nice, gentle, young, still very young and quite vigorous herby wine. Okay, next one. Number 2. They do number 1's next, but this is a younger vintage. Number 2 is 2008 Grenache Mourvèdre Cinsault, again non-filtré. And first thing I noticed is it's a much lighter colour. Yeah, this one was quite dense and deep in colour and very purple. This one, it's yeah, it's not transparent, but you can still see the colour. But it feels like it's going to be a lighter, maybe juicier wine. Who can tell? More herbs, more softness, more plummy warmth, and there's this edge of wild strawberries, a bit cooked fruit. Yeah, it feels like it's going to be richer, smoother, lighter bodied. Maybe not as intensely intense in terms of concentration, but more ethereal. Yeah, that's a really nice, almost rose petal scented character to it. Some earthy minerality. Feels like, yeah, warm rock in there. I don't know if there's some sandstone in there, but I get that slightly earthy sandstone feel. And just on the right edge of jamminess, there's some of that Grenache it was Grenache, wasn't it? Yeah, some of that Grenache has gone on that cooked berry edge, but not too far. And you're left with this edge of liqueur flavour, but not that that burning alcoholic warmth of liqueur. Alcohol level on these looks to be 14 or One of them was 13.5, but the rest are all 14. Doesn't feel like it's too hot, doesn't feel like it's overblown. Almost, it's one of those weird ones that has a refreshing edge. There's a cool gentleness to the finish. Next one, Syrah Kenyon. This is the number 1, and this is 2005. So early vintages for them when they were, I think they were still experimenting. In fact, I look on the back of here and there's a poem. That's probably on the website if you want to read a long poem. It's got 4 stanzas and I'm sure it's very erudite, like me. Yes, there's this, it's funny, the Kenyon here, I really find it gives a very firm footprint. There's this, there's the spice, there's the, but there's this violet and pepper, and it feels like a, not ashy, but it feels like there's a volcanic character or some really minerally stony character, and that I associate with the Kenyon from this region. And some blackcurrant, yeah, blackcurrant pastels, bit of raspberry. Juicy, young and fresh. It's funny, I feel that in terms of confidence of it as a wine, I find that the number 2, it feels more complete. I don't know, Syrah and Kenyon, both of them can be quite angular, and I quite like the idea of having something like Grenache in there to almost flesh out the bones. But this is quite precise, pure, intense, but maybe a touch simple. I actually prefer the previous one. This has got more aromatic characters coming through, but I find the number 2 a more complete wine. Still very nice, and the Syrah character that you're getting there, those cooked, when you get those nice little wild strawberries and proper raspberries that are not supermarket raspberries, and then you just give them that little bit of time in the pan and you get that lovely juicy edge, and they've got that acidity as well. Tasty. Still prefer the number 2 though. And the final one, Black Knight. (2005) Syrah Grenache Kenyon. So that's the blend I was looking for, really. I'm not sure if this was the first vintage that they did of Black Knight, but it's the first time I've tried it, so I'll be very interested to see how successful it is. Yes, and it smells like it's got the bits that was missing from here and the bits that were successful here. There's the warm herbiness, there's the freshness, there's the perfume, those bits of violet, maybe those bits of orange peel that Syrah gives, and some of that plump, plummy berry edge of Grenache as well to flesh it out and complete the picture. Yeah, it's a much more confident style, more intense, fuller-bodied, but still not over the top sweet. The finish I'm left with is firm, tannic, dry, but promising. I think that this is a wine that's that's going to go on and on for quite a while. It's certainly another 5 years in that, but I don't know whether it's going to go on longer than that. I imagine it would, but because it's not got a track record, who can tell? But again, all the way through, refreshing, rich but refreshing, and I think it's 2 things. I think it's a hallmark of the soil, and maybe it's the biodynamic approach that they're using in the vineyards that keeps this vibrancy and life in the wines, because they're all very lively. And yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy these over the next couple of days, because they all feel like they're still coming out of their shells. Even the 205s, they do feel that they've still got their best to give. Certainly the Black Knight, I'll be maybe having a glass tonight, but maybe 2 glasses tomorrow. Okay, see you soon.